Hey, what's up, Seekers? Wanugee with GoldenDragonFortunes, your K-Rap psychic. And today we're going to look at the relationship between Kim Heechul, Super Junior, Knowing Brothers, and Momo of Twice. You guys ready? You ready to what? Once? Else? You ready to take a look at that relationship? Here we go.
Hey, what's up, seekers? Looking in the future peekers. You K-pop breakers coming round and see us every weekers. Yo, diehard K-pop fans, I want to know your stance. Just let us know your bias, then go ahead, try us.
Hey, welcome, Seekers. Welcome, you onces. Welcome, you elves. K-pop fans. Magandang umaga for our Filipino friends. Assalamualaikum for our Malay friends. Salamat Pagi for our Indonesian friends. Namaste for our Indian friends. Annyeonghaseyo for our Korean friends. And hey, welcome everybody. How about Ohio gozaimasu for our Japanese friends, or just Ohio, because that might be important as we look at this video later between Heechul and Momo. You ready? So we're going to look at, Kim Heechul, formerly of Super Junior, or I guess he's still kind of active here and there. He's been around in K-pop for many years, maybe going back to 2005 is when he debuted with Super Junior of SM Entertainment, and lots of stuff. He's shot 18 music videos. He's on all kinds of TV shows, and more recently, maybe dozens and dozens of TV shows. But early on in his career, not too far into his career, he broke his leg. He was in a car accident and broke his leg. And ever since then, he's kind of retired from the dancing thing, even though he's kind of a dance machine on these TV shows, But in a strenuous kind of stage and those kind of things, he's kind of removed from that. I mean, he did some work with Jong, and kind of a partnership thing, Heechul and Jong, a few years after he started with Super Junior. Then he ventured into a lot of television. He still dances. He can still dance and move, at least, but not, training all the time because of his leg, and he's just kind of moved away from that. So while he was always, maybe from the very beginning of Twice, he's always been kind of supportive. They came on the talk shows, they came on Knowing Brothers, they came on Weekly Idol, and he was there. And so he interacted on these shows with the members of Twice, and in particular with Momo. Him and Momo had some kind of thing going on there way back early on, years ago. And, he was kind of that way for everybody, and kind of friendly and funny and, imitative of people. So it was good television. But particularly, there was something there with Momo, Momo from Twice. So Momo is, she started with Twice and picked the members of Twice. It was kind of one of those elimination shows. In fact, Momo was eliminated. She was eliminated in the process of that show. But at the end, she was kind of brought back. JYP said, well, we need her dancing. And so he brought her back, and she joined Twice way back several years ago. So now she's a member of Twice, and she's known as the dancing machine as well of Twice. She's the dancing talent of Twice. I mean, she sings, etc., but her dancing is probably her specialty. So it's interesting that, Heechul, likes to dance, and obviously Momo likes to dance. So maybe that's something they have in common from early on. And obviously they're both K-pop idols. So, but on these TV shows, the kind of the interaction was there. It was kind of cute, kind of seemed harmless, but there was something there all along. In fact, you can see that, maybe on the Weekly Idol shows, there's some interactions, and, you've probably seen some of these clips and videos about when she was on Weekly Idol with Heechul, and they were trying to raise his heart rate on a monitor. So they were trying to get his heart rate up high, and who could do it the best. And so when it was Momo's turn, she came out there and, looked at him and started to do this little sing song thing that he likes, and then a little bit later on, she tried to get his temperature, his heartbeat up more, And so she grabbed his hands and they sang together, and then she said, Ohio. So Ohio means good morning in Japanese. And he kind of laughed and freaked out. Everybody else laughed. So that kind of implies that maybe, you see each other in the morning, and you say good morning, Ohio. So Ohio gozaimasu for all you people that know Japanese, which is the full version of it, more polite version, but Ohio is just a familiar version of it. So her saying that really gave him a shock, and maybe that's where things got more interesting between them. But it's kind of been, if you watch some of these variety shows, he's always been there, has always been interacting with her in several different shows, Knowing Brothers, Weekly Idol, and then another show that has to do with the Knowing Brothers. So they've always had quite a bit of interaction. And then, he admitted that he's only been to 3 concerts, and 2 of them, the most recent that he went to, actual concerts, was twice. He went to twice concerts and held a sign up, and so he's kind of a fanboy of Twice, and maybe Momo from early on. We just didn't really notice it. And Momo has always been kind of lurking around Heechul as well. So there's something there. So I want to look at the compatibility a little bit, since they've kind of already announced that they are officially dating. I mean, both their labels announced that they're dating. And they both already apologized to their fan base for dating, which is kind of a Korean thing, because they don't want to alienate their fans who appreciate them and like them by, dating. They're almost like, well, we still have love for you, but we're sorry that we have some interest with each other. It's a Korean K-pop thing, dating scandal. It's ridiculous, really, from Western point of view. It's like, why don't they just be happy? I think most people are happy for them, even though there's a lot of controversy, because there's a huge age difference. There's 13 years difference between Heechul, who was born in 1983, and Momo, who was born in 1996. In fact, we're going to look at that. So let's take a look at the compatibility in a couple different ways, 4 different ways, and see what they say. You ready? Okay, here we go. Heechul was born on July 10th of 1983. So he's a Cancer. That's his sun sign, water sign. And Momo was born on November 9th, 1996. So she's a Scorpio, another water sign. So the fact that they're both water, it has some compatibility. So Scorpio and Cancer can work well. In fact, there is some good things about this relationship, from a overview point of view with the sun signs. The good things is that they're both romantic, they're both loyal, attendant to their emotions and their feelings. Particularly Scorpios have a lot of, maybe they come across strong, but they have a lot of deep feelings, deep emotional feelings. The Scorpio is daring, more than the Cancer. There are some negative things, from the sun sign point of view. We look at Western astrology. Some of the conflicts or bad things that could happen between these 2 signs is that they both could be stubborn, particularly Scorpio. They can both be emotional, overly emotional, given the situation. They're ruled by their emotions quite a bit. And then they can be very possessive. They can be very possessive about what they want, what they love, what they care for. So there's a bit of that for both of them. Probably more so the Scorpio, but Cancer too. So these are some of the things they have in common, and some of the things that may be there in the Western astrology. But let's look a little bit deeper. I did a little. If you take a look at their chart, I don't know their birth hour, so we don't know about their ascendant sign. So this is, not 100% accurate, because we don't know those aspects, which could have some influence on some of their compatibility. But let's look at some key aspects of about their relationships. So he was born in Korea, she was born in Kyoto, Japan, and let's see how they work together from a Western astrology point of view. If we look at their compatibility and look a little bit more deeper in their Western astrology charts, natal charts, they have 7 aspects, how the planets align and, what angles and what positions. They have 7 aspects that are kind of exact or more influential or stronger in their nature, both good and bad, so turns out hopefully, most of them are good. So let's look at their alignments that are exact. The first aspect is their sun signs. So, Heechul is a Cancer, his sun sign is a Cancer, and Momo is a Scorpio. So their sun Cancer is a Trine aspect, angle aspect. It's Cancer, Trine, Scorpio. And so what that means is that there's a good cooperation and harmony that allows both partners to experience the feeling of being content and optimistic. So that's good. That's a good relationship. They can experience some material and spiritual wealth as together, and luck and happiness, because the way of life of each person providing additional opportunities for the other. So both can kind of illuminate for each other and help each other. So their sun signs are very compatible, and this is a key aspect between them. Now another one that is a key aspect is his Mars sextile her Virgo. And what that means is that both partners can retain their unique independence while they are interacting with each other. So they don't get too, blurred and kind of lose their own boundaries of who they are, their own identities. So that allows them to have a sense of progress and achievement, both together and independently. That's important because they're still idols. They still have their own schedules. They still have their own lives. Each partner can help each other grow and stimulate each other to grow. The woman subconsciously identifies herself with her male side, and Momo, and interacts with male needs. And so, and then because Heechul is kind of a Cancer, he's kind of a softer male. So that kind of may work out okay. Then the third aspect is that Heechul's Mercury, his Mercury is in Cancer, and it's trine her sun in Scorpio. So this aspect, is the exact aspect, it creates an atmosphere of understanding and mutual interest in the relationship. The sun person, Momo, can share and express her ideas, and then Heechul, the Mercury person, his Mercury can put them into words. So there's a mutual cooperation in the activities. Both people will be appreciative of their ability to understand and to listen. So sounds good. Sounds like a good aspect there. Heechul's Mercury is going to help make acuity, mental acuity, and kind of formulate more crystallization of Momo's own energy and help focus it. Another aspect, number 4, that is emphasized is that his Jupiter is in Sagittarius and her Saturn is in Aries. And so what that means is that creates a structure. They can build a relationship that will benefit the society and the bigger picture as a whole. So they're able to create that structure and build on it. On a personal level, his friendliness and optimism kind of prevents Saturn from getting too dark and feel too burdened by obligation and rule, because Saturn has kind of that kind of energy. Her Saturn, her sense of duty and responsibility, kind of keeps Jupiter's ideas based on common sense and doesn't get too far out there, because Jupiter tends to be more expansive. Saturn tends to be more controlled. So her Saturn in Aries and his Jupiter in Sagittarius seems to work in a good way. Aries is more about action. Sagittarius is kind of more about ideas. That works out. The next one aspect is his Uranus. Uranus is in Sagittarius. Her Mars is in Virgo. And that's actually squared. squared. So Uranus, Sagittarius squared Mars, Virgo. So this is actually kind of a negative influence, but it's emphasized. And what this kind of does is that she tends to subconsciously take the male role. She might take that male leadership role and sacrificing her own femininity in an attempt to reach out to him. However, his detachment, sense of independence, and philosophical kind of impartial position irritates her and causes the feeling that her efforts are wasted. So he wants to retain his independence a bit, while she is faced with this difficult challenge of maintaining control over herself when she's trying to kind of control his freedom instinct. So as a result, the relationship can be, kind of unilateral. Could be like, on different wavelengths sometimes. So without a solid foundation, this could be a real problem. But they have to learn how to have mutual concessions and try to overcome that. You don't see that right away, but I think when it's more of a day-to-day thing, you can kind of sense that it's there, that she really wants something and he's kind of non-committal a bit. Then the sixth aspect that may be important is that his Jupiter is in Sagittarius and her Uranus is in Aquarius. This is a good thing because the interaction is a healthy sense of freedom and equality. It could be a kind of a modern and future-oriented relationship, and maybe both equally interesting in kind of new ideas of thinking and new belief systems. So it could be a harmonious connection for the higher mind. That maybe they kind of see things in a higher aspect, in the higher level of things, not just in the root survival kind of elements and emotions. That they have some stimulation in the mental sense, in the higher sense of how they see things and how they see the world. They kind of can be expansive with each other, and that may be encouraging for the future, about their hopes, for the greater good. Momo, I think, has a strong feeling about the greater good, being who she is and her sign. So this is a good thing. And then the last one is his Jupiter in Sagittarius is conjuncted with her Pluto in Sagittarius. So this could be good or bad, could be both. His Jupiter beliefs may be kind of examined or challenged or influenced and possibly transformed by the Pluto. So the Pluto has this Jupiter's kind of expansive and has different ideas of growth, and Pluto has more of an anchoring, kind of a darker, duty side to it. So the Pluto, her Pluto may think that his Jupiter is maybe impractical or shallow, and his philosophy is maybe, makes him wrong at times. On the other hand, Jupiter can send rays of hope and goodness to Pluto, who's dark. It's way out there. So Pluto has this darker energy, and her suspicious soul, which is part of her Scorpio kind of energy. She's kind of suspicious of things. Maybe that's her Sagittarius too, and that's the Pluto aspect. So that could be, that could be a bit of conflict. But the Jupiter can benefit maybe spiritually, maybe professionally, from Pluto or Momo's profound insight and powerful connections. So, he's kind of maybe all over the place a little bit. She's a little bit more focused and feels, kind of a sense of obligation and duty and, the right thing. And so this is an aspect that, that needs to be worked out together without making too much conflict out of it. So anyway, those are 7 key aspects that may be influential in their relationship and the compatibility as far as the Western astrology. So to summarize, as far as compatibility in Western astrology, let's look at the percentage. Compatibility is 86%. So even though you have this age difference, perhaps this language, they're supposed to speak Korean, but the Japanese and Korean kind of cultures. So you have the age difference. They're 86% compatible. So that's very high. That's very good. So all you, haters about the age difference, etc., age is just a number. It's more about how you feel and act together. Numerology, there's I'll break it down a little bit more than I have in the past, and we'll look at 6 different aspects of the numerology. When we look at the name numerology, this is where you take the name and there's a certain number associated with each letter, and you kind of add those up and come down to numbers. They're 95% match, numerology, for their name. Then if you look at their heart's desire, and there's a technique to do this as well in numerology, it's 60%. The third aspect that we're going to look at as far as numerology is personality. And the personality is 95%. So 95% match in their personality based on their numerology. Different way to calculate all these. So, I don't want to get into detail, but that's how you do it. And that's what it says. So 95% for the name, 60% for their heart's desire, 95% for their personality. And then the next one is their life path. Their life path, this is kind of based on the date, birth date. So the life path is 80% compatibility. The next one is their power as a couple, how they could maybe make things happen. What's that compatibility? And it's 60%, also 60%. So all these are pretty good. And then the last one is, kind of their marriage relationship. And really that's based on a kind of a average of all the ones I just mentioned. And it's at 87%. So 87% compatibility. So, for the Western astrology, it's 86%. For the numerology, it's 87%. Very close and very good. Let's look at the Ba-zi, the Chinese. And I don't want to go a lot of depth in this, but basically their charts, and of course we don't know the hour they were born, so that makes a difference. I just use 12 o'clock for both of them. And it comes out to 57% compatibility. So it's still positive. I think he's a pig and she's a rat. Pig is very, friendly, outgoing, generous. The rat is a little more calculating, but smart. Anyway, 57% for the Ba-zi. And then let's look at the Vedic, Indian Vedic astrology. So actually for the Vedic, the compatibility is 72%. That's very good too. But there's an aspect of this that says maybe they shouldn't get married, and it gets very deep into the weeds here, into maybe an Indian Vedic kind of philosophy. So neither of them are Indian, but it says that there's a thing called Manglik dosha, and you're either Manglik or you're not Manglik. And so this aspect is something that the Vedic system believes it can be crucial to a marriage or to a relationship. Anyway, Manglik and non-Manglik shouldn't be together because it could have disastrous results. Now, it turns out Momo is Manglik dosha. Heechul is not Manglik. So without getting too deep into it, there are remedies. If the rest of the chart is good, then maybe that's a positive thing and maybe can help counteract this aspect. And also there's some things that the person can do. And it's kind of funny because most of the recommendations are for Momo to do things on Tuesdays. So Tuesday is kind of a critical day to either donate blood every 3 months or do some other things on Tuesdays that can help reduce the Manglik dosha that maybe she has. So she thinks about the greater good anyway, so maybe that's a good thing. Maybe she can just do some things for the greater good, and that might be helpful for this Manglik dosha aspect. But overall, they have 26 points out of 36, which is a very good match, 72%. So in Western astrology, 86%. In numerology, 87%. In Ba-zi, 57%. And in Vedic astrology, 72%. So they match up very well. And in fact, if we average that, that comes out to, so pretty good. But now let's take a look at something else. Let's look at their next 12 months, next year, 2020, and see how their relationship might go. What do you think? I got a new deck of cards, tarot cards, and they're called the Mystical Manga Guidebook. So mystical manga cards. So they're based on manga art, but since we have Momo, and she's from Japan, and manga is a big thing, we're going to use this deck to kind of determine just kind of the energy out there for Heechul and Momo over the next year, 2020, and see how it goes. So, you ready? Here we go. And then let's see what the cards say for the next 3 months. Part of the next 3 months is we have the Two of Cups. So the Two of Cups is, the cups are an emotional suit. So the Two of Cups represents this kind of emotional connection. So, now that they've kind of got the word out, they've kind of apologized to their fan bases. They seem like they're free to kind of feel that connection and feel that emotional connection with each other. We've got the Ace of Cups, another emotional card. And Ace of Cups in this deck represents kind of a healing process of kind of soothing. They've got the apologies out, they've got their relationship out in the public, and so it's a chance to drink from this chalice of the cup, kind of a healing elixir to feel like work through that, make things okay, so going forward. So these are nice that there's going to be this feeling of energy and excitement with each other, that they got the relationship out in the open, and the Ace of Cups suggests that that's kind of a relief, and they kind of have to kind of move forward and kind of readjust, knowing that they can work through that and be there for each other. So that's a nice thing. That's a sweet thing. That's a sweet thing for them. So let's see what's next. Probably January, February, March. So let's look at April, May, June, roughly the second quarter, and see what cards come up. So on the one hand, we have the Six of Coins. So the Six of Coins represents kind of how one who may have the resources can help those, or that person that doesn't have the resources. It's about helping out, being generous, maybe to each other, but maybe in a broader sense, to the greater good, maybe to their fan bases, maybe in general. So it seems like there's going to be energies around that, maybe April, May, June, about helping each other and helping others as well outside of them in a way that may be important, and maybe that's a bond for them. Maybe a sense of giving. Hopefully it's not a sense of conflict and not a sense of stinginess and conflict between the level of giving, how much one can give, and sometimes you might feel you're attracted to somebody, and then you get to know them and you find out they have different values as far as how to treat people and how to be generous and not. So it seems like that's going to be an emphasis around this April, May, June, is this these resources and how they're being used and how they're being shared and how they're being helpful or not. On the other side is the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands represents the excitement of wanting to help, do things, have a busy schedule, get a lot of things going, maybe from a spiritual point of view. So maybe this has to do with this idea of apportionment and resources. But it also says that there may be some conflicts there. There's going to be maybe too busy of a schedule and the inability to say no, and maybe there's just too much on the plate. So that might create some friction. Trying to do too much to almost maybe a sense of maybe they're trying to prove things as a couple in their own ways, and for the greater good, for their fan base, for maybe for society. But it's too much. It could be too much if they don't know how to manage that well. So there could be some conflicts there. Maybe their schedules are going to be very tight around that time, spring, maybe with some comebacks or some activities, television, what have you. But it seems like that's going to be an issue. The desire to do more, but not being able to make it happen because things are just overwhelming, or could be overwhelming if they don't manage it right. So let's see what's going on in the second half, July, August, September. So this next card here for July, August, September, this is Temperance. It's a major arcana card. And the way it's interpreted in this deck, is that this is kind of an opportunity to combine and integrate more maybe this outwardly thing and this activity thing that hadn't happened in the quarter before, 3 months before that. And maybe kind of combining their own intuition, their own sense of themselves, and integrating that with the greater good. So it's kind of taking things a little less hectically and not so outwardly or demonstratively, but kind of integrating it more intuitively, and maybe finding a way to do that, as a couple, and how they integrate it together, and how they integrate their schedules together, and kind of, support each other in a way that is more emotionally intuitive and not just demonstrative to prove that they have this justification for them being who they are. So the Four of Coins is also kind of relates to this Temperance card. It's about maybe everything in moderation. So it's kind of saying that this is a time to maybe save or reserve, maybe emotionally, maybe physically, maybe financially, not to kind of overdo it, kind of hold back a little bit. Use that time to kind of save money, save time, save energy, save emotions. And so it's about preparing for the future and thinking about things for the future, and kind of putting some stuff away, not overdoing it, not fully expending everything that is possible. So it seemed like it's kind of a nurturing time for them to kind of balance and find a little bit more time not to be so stretched thin and not so overwhelmed. Okay, and then let's look at the last part of the year here, which would be October, November, December, more or less. The Seven of Wands represents taking a stand, kind of working together to fight, to kind of stand up for what's right. So it's about, protecting. So I don't know if there's something that comes up around this time that maybe needs a feeling of protection, perhaps maybe with each other, they are kind of standing up for something that they feel is right together, but maybe they're also protecting each other in a certain way, in a certain aspect that may be coming up toward the holiday season here. This is October, November, December 2020, so maybe it's around that time that there's going to be some need to feel protected. So this represents protection and standing up for what's right, because it's not really a fair fight, and that's what they have to do. And this one here is about teamwork. Three of Coins represents about teamwork makes the dream work. So it's about, everybody has different abilities. Maybe they both have different abilities, and so they have to kind of find a way to make things come together. And so it seemed like they're coming together in that time at the end of this year of 2020. They seem to be coming together as a team, and maybe with others, and kind of supporting what they're trying to do, and kind of standing up for what they feel is right and what's good. So that's what it says for the next 12 months, more or less, for Heechul and Momo in their relationship. So what do you think? You onces, you elves, you Heechul fans, you Momo fans, put your comments below, like and subscribe. I think I did a reading for Momo with my friend Kakao, Karen Olivia, and we did it in November of 2018, and it kind of went through maybe the summer of 2019. So I thought I'd do some excerpts out of here. Well, maybe there's some things that came true. We'll have to look back at it, and maybe we can see what I said. So let's take a look. Hey, Karen, Psychic here, Wanugee, GoldenDragonFortunes with Kakao, Karen, Olivia. We're going to kind of look in the future, see what kind of energy is coming up for a Twice member. And I think we're going to pick Hirai Momo-san no tanjoubi desu kedo.
Sorry, this is like the first time I've heard you speak Japanese.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, I know a little bit. 少しだけね. Arigato. Anyway, yeah, you speak Japanese too a little bit, yeah? Yeah, you're multilingual. Anyway, Momo's birthday was November 9th, just recently, so I thought we'd give her a little birthday present and kind of look into her future, just a quick mini fortune, and see what kind of energy is showing up, maybe around the next 6 to 8 months, more or less, and just a kind of a broad brush stroke. So that's what we're going to do, and you're going to help me do this.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm ready.
So we're going to do, okay, good. So we're going to do it together. I'll take off the sunglasses, and okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to kind of represent the next 6 to 8 months. Let's pick the first two tiles. You
first
pick
two?
First two in the middle.
Okay.
So let's turn those over.
Ooh, these are so cute.
Yeah. So these are miniature mahjong tiles. The real tiles are about 5 times bigger than this. But these tiles say that in the next couple months, there's going to be a lot of creativity and a lot of harmony and comfort and ease, more relaxation.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, and it's going to give her an opportunity to let go of maybe some disappointments or things that were in the past that didn't quite work out the way she thought. So it's going to be a good period. Let's pick another one.
Okay. I like how it's like radiating out.
Right. So it says, probably maybe early January or so, there's going to be some challenges. Maybe it's hard work, or there's going to be some symbolically some cold wind blowing from the north that may be in her way a little bit and that she needs to kind of fight through. But she will, and she's going to feel like that's her, when she gets past that, there's going to be an opportunity for her to kind of rise again, like the phoenix, the Three of Circles, and in the classic, sense, kind of rising and reinventing herself a little bit in a new way, roughly around February.
That's actually a really nice result.
Yeah.
The best, yeah.
Yeah. So let's pick another one.
About how many months out is this one?
This is roughly about 6 months out or so, maybe 5-6 months, more or less. And it says that things seem to be at that point moving in the right direction, kind of slowly and steadily, more regularly, with the turtle showing up. So it's the right path, but maybe at its own speed. And then there's going to be something that she finds very dynamic and inspiring and attractive, like fire. So it's something that's maybe a little bit risky, but something she might be
playing with fire.
Yeah, exactly. She may be attracted to it. And it seems to say that she may feel there's a downside as well, but she maybe want to consider going for it because she thinks maybe the benefits outweigh the risk. Doesn't say what it is, but that's the energy. So let's pick one more.
Last one.
Yeah. And it seems to say that pursuant to that, about 7 or 8 months down the road, the pearl shows up. The pearl represents something beautiful and refined and special, kind of like Momo. And it represents nice energy and something maybe nicer or better may be happening at that time. So somewhere in the summer of next year. And there's going to be a lot of busy energy and cooperation and collaboration because the insect shows up with it. And the insect represents like a beehive or anthill. A lot of activity, but it's in a cooperative and team kind of way. So it seems like there's going to be something even better for her and maybe for twice. Maybe this represents twice too, the insects, about summertime.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's for you, Momo. So good luck to you, Momo. And so until next time, wishing you all good fortunes. Kamsahamnida. Thank you, everybody. Teremakase for coming in and watching about this compatibility with Heechul and Momo. I think they're very cute. They obviously have some energy together. They have seem like a nice relationship, and hopefully it continues to become nice, and hopefully everybody out there can accept it and know that, like I said, age is just a number, and obviously there's a lot of fans for both of them, but hopefully they can accept that they're human beings and not just one-dimensional characters on TV or on stage. They are real human beings, and they have the right to have their life, and hopefully their fans can appreciate that. So if you want to know about your compatibility with your favorite K-pop idol, then you can, and we'll let you know if what we can. But you have to kind of like and subscribe first, and then after you like and subscribe, just let us know the hour, the day, the month, the year, the city and country of your birth, and that'll help us get more of a clear picture. And tell us who you want to see your compatibility with, who your favorite idol is, and we'll try to take a look at that if you like and subscribe, and we'll put it in the comments. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, hit the bell, put it on social media, share it, and until next time, wishing you all good fortunes.
I'm your K-rap psychic. Try me twice, you'll like it. My name is Wanugee. OGs call me Wanugee. I'm a wise fortune teller and a really mellow fella. Ask me about your favorite idol. See their future, see what's vital.
Ohio.